Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Level Up, powered by Leadway. I am Tomike Adeoye, your host. We have the paparazzis in my midst today. Just kidding. Today I'll be joined by two incredibly talented photographers. My first guest, who you're definitely familiar with his beautiful and mind-blowing photos on the gram, is none other than creative artist and photographer Femi Alabede, popularly known as the Alfe. Hello.
Hi, Tomike.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And we're also joined by a very beautiful and creative young lady who draws with light and freezes time. Am I correct? Joining us is none other than Olamide Egbinola. Hi, Olamide. Welcome.
Hi, thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. This is
pleasure.
Egbinola Photography, and this is the Alfe. Welcome.
Thank you.
Are we ready to level up?
Yeah, let's
This
go.
energy is not the kind of energy that we used to level up here. When I say level, you say up. Level.
Up.
Level. Up. You're sit down, you're sit down, you're sit down. You're coming up, you're coming up. Anyway, I will begin with you, the Alfe. How did an industrial chemist become the Alfe today? How did it happen?
Well, this is usually a long story, but I'll try to keep it short.
No problem.
Obviously, yeah, I studied industrial chemistry in the university, but post NYSC or during NYSC, I just kept trying to find myself more like. So I kept trying to look back to what I have interest in, and I found that I had interest in drawing art.
Oh, wow.
So I actually started with art, which then evolved into photography. So I bought my first camera then just to take pictures of my artworks, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was the reason why I bought it. I had no interest in photography whatsoever. And upon buying the camera, I was fascinated by it, taking pictures of my family, my friends, my colleagues at work then. And well, here we have it today. That bettered the love for photography.
Wow. So, but do you have any regrets not studying creative arts or?
Maybe I blame the Nigerian educational system, if I'm being honest, because looking back, I actually had flair for arts, right? But I guess back then nobody really paid attention to it. No. You're either being groomed to be a lawyer, a doctor, a banker, and whatnot.
Very true.
Yeah, maybe.
But now you have the best of both worlds.
I guess.
Olamide, at what point did you venture into photography?
So I studied law, and
You people. You're just wasting our certificates, so
So in my 400 level, I realized that I wanted to do photography full-time. But then I decided to just finish what I started. So I finished law school 2017, practiced for a year, and then at the end of 2018, I'm like, okay, that's the end of law. Let's do photography. So I took up an internship, and it's been, since 2019, it's been photography all the way.
So we are not going to court anymore?
No.
Really?
No plans, really.
But Alfe, is this sustainable? Is this something one can do full-time, or do you have any other jobs on the side?
Well,
Coming from a
it
pro.
is.
Let's know whether I should advise that to just go and iron that.
If I'm being honest, it's sustainable. It's just, it takes a lot of work and discipline and dedication. But then again, it's always advisable to have a second or third or fourth source of income. But it is definitely sustainable.
And you've actually been shooting the Lagos Fashion Week runway for about 5 years now. Do you remember when you first landed the gig?
Well, I think the first time I went, it wasn't really a gig. So I heard that, Lagos Fashion Week is going on, and I went there with my camera to shoot. Obviously, you needed a press pass, which I didn't know before going. So I was only limited to shooting street style. And then the Fashion Week usually runs for like 3 days or 4 days sometimes. So after the first day, I posted pictures, some people reposted, and then I think Guardian Life reached out to me that, can they use my images? And then they gave me press pass for the remaining days.
Wow.
So, but I was to shoot just street style. Obviously, after street style, people go in for the runway.
Yeah.
I had a press pass, so I went in. I started shooting the runway as well. So the following year, I had some work that I did with Bella Ninja, and then they reached out if I shoot runway. And I said yes, and I showed them the picture that I shot there. Even though it wasn't up to par, they told me how they wanted it and whatnot, but I mean, since I already had that experience. So, and that was how it started. I've been shooting the runway for Bella Ninja for 3 years now.
Wow.
And yeah.
Wow, I was going to save this question for toward the end, but now that you mentioned, I mean, you grabbed an opportunity that you
Yes.
saw. Even initially, you just went to just take pictures without, working for a brand in particular. So, is that to say collaboration shoots and all of that are a thing?
Oh, definitely. Collaborations are good. Just be deliberate, basically.
Actually.
So know what you are getting off from the collaboration. So if it's something that you don't think you benefit from, you don't have to do it. Nobody should pressure you to do it. But yes, definitely. I till today I still do some collaborations. I still do some shoots for exposure. I mean, maybe not a lot as when I started, but anyone starting out, it's advised. Go ahead, but don't do too much of it. No, if you've done this for this particular reason, you don't have to keep doing it. Maybe it's time for you to start making money off it. So,
Sure.
yeah.
I actually like that you're being completely honest. I mean, it's not every time that you do this because of the money that.
Yes.
And for me, to be honest, at times it's even the jobs that you are not being paid to do, like the jobs that you willingly take on, that bring more results.
Oh,
and
definitely.
yes, because I feel like when you have these shoots, you take your time, prepare the set, the model is calm, and all of that. Compared to a client that says, "Oh, want to take pictures of this clothes," and you are trying to get some creative. No, you are not seeing the button. The belt is not.
Definitely.
So really, at the end of the day, that might not even push your brand as much as shoots that you take out time to do. So
Definitely.
I do hope you are listening, my darling.
Yes.
Even I am listening.
let me just chip in. So one major collaboration that put me up, when I first started, obviously I was shooting family, friends, portraits, but I really had interest in fashion, right? And I wanted to enter the fashion industry. So I had a neighbor, Knack, right?
Oh.
And I reached out to him that, oh, I'm into photography now, let me shoot some of your pieces and whatnot. I had ideas, but I didn't know how to get the gigs. So interestingly, he was also looking for a photographer. And so we
Wow.
started a partnership sort of, and that was how I became a fashion photographer.
Oh, wow.
Right, so yes, collaborations, definitely.
It's a way to go.
Yes.
Now, talking about some of the challenges that you faced in building a portfolio in the industry, what are some of the challenges you think you've actually faced and maybe you're still facing right now?
Building a portfolio. I believe the first challenge is mental, is the mind. So you go on Instagram, you're seeing pictures, you're seeing people like Alfe do their thing, and you're like, when would I get here? Because you feel like that's what clients are looking for. They're looking for this beautiful, sharp, bright, creative images, and you just have this really tiny camera that you're just using to take little things here and there, and it took a lot to bring my mind to where it is. It's not there yet, but that part of it needs a lot of work, where that it's step by step, and you just need to go through the growth process. There's also the financial restraint. Okay, so I bought my first camera with the money I made from law. And I just got the camera and I'm like, okay, yes, let's do this. But after the camera, you want to get new things. Okay, that maybe I want to shoot events, I have a lens I need to get, I can't get it. How do I get what I need to get for the clients to know that I can do this? Was a bit of a challenge. There's also the issue of shooting in Lagos. So for example,
Actually, that's a major one. I'm listening.
if you say, oh, I want to shoot at a location, I have this idea and all, and you get to the location and they're like, oh, for 1 hour it's 45,000, and you're like, where am I going to get that? So that's a bit of a challenge. So you're restricted to the studios to, create your thing. There's pretty much that financial constraint, and it's a major thing.
Speaking on the issue of location, I think it's actually a Lagos thing, because when we leave Lagos, or maybe when we travel out of the country, they don't really harass us like this. I mean, you can shoot in hotels for free, you can shoot in restaurants, beautiful locations for free, but here, is it that they've seen that there's a market for it and they decide to exploit photographers and maybe content creators? Is it something that you face as well? I mean, being that you've been in the game for quite some time.
Oh, definitely.
Wow.
In fact, I think maybe that's so I take a lot of my pictures in the studio. I do set design, right? And I think it's the limitations with shooting at locations that made me go into set design. So I tend to just create the mood that I want, that I would easily create at a location. I tend to create it in the
But that's
studio.
expensive.
It is. And yeah, not so many clients can afford that. But it's a good substitute because then again, in a studio, it's a controlled environment. I'm not worried about
the rain, the
rain,
sun.
sun, and whatnot.
Sure.
So some people prefer that option. So
Okay.
another thing I think is the reason is because the Lagos market is very saturated. So I've shot at some locations where they don't even charge. You just tell them, oh, I'm a photographer, will tag you, and they let you shoot. But maybe fast forward 3 months, 4 months, they've decided charging a high amount because many people now start with restaurants, for instance. So people come, they don't even buy anything, or they buy a glass of water and want to do a photo shoot. So
Actually,
sometimes,
that's
yeah.
another angle, Sha. But let's talk about photography as as a job that it is. Is it something that you think you need to learn, like go to school for or go for training for? Is this something that you can actually just learn online or virtually, or do you believe in actually training under someone, interning under someone, and taking direct classes for it? Is it something that is important?
Well, when you say school, it looks like you have to get a degree or something. I don't think that is necessary.
I don't think you need a degree either.
Yes, I don't think that is necessary. But learning under someone, definitely. Well, I learned mostly online and
Oh, wow.
it's self-taught. But not everybody can do that. In fact, I feel like if I had learned under someone, if I had interned with someone or attended workshops and whatnot, I might have, where I am now, maybe I would have arrived there sooner. But I enjoyed, don't get me wrong,
I get you.
I enjoyed the process of learning on my own, right? It taught me some things that they will not teach you when you go for a workshop or whatnot,
True.
right? And I'm able to just survive in any environment. If I go somewhere for a shoot now, my equipment's pack up. I'll be able to improvise, right? Because I learned on my own. I learned with the things I had at my disposal at the time, right? But it's definitely advisable to have a mentor or intern with a well-known photographer for a period.
Sure.
Yeah.
But at the end, the experience is truly the best teacher.
Yes.
What are some of the skills that you've done to improve your career so far that you've learned?
So
Have you
I'm a
trained
really
somewhere else?
hands-on person. I
Okay.
like doing it. So the YouTube thing, I did it
Yeah.
for a while, and I'm watching the videos. I can't understand what exactly they're saying, but I keep watching anyways. And then when I get the opportunity to work with somebody, then I see what they're doing. I'm like, oh, that's what they were doing in that video. So
definitely.
that helps a whole lot. Also, one that I love volunteering to work with people. Like, as much as I'm adding value to you, you're adding value to me too. So I always take on opportunities. When I reach out to someone, oh, if you have a job and you need an assistant, please let me know. I'll come with you. So watching how they set up their lights, some of them would even go the extra mile to tell you, oh, this is why I'm setting up the lights this way. If I want to achieve this, I'll set it up this way. They just want you to be better. And then as at last year, I decided to start taking master classes just to make myself better. So things you need to do too.
Your career is actually, it has shown that you are truly diverse, from owning a production studio to interiors. You've done a whole lot. Now, what advice would you give to someone who is into photography and watching this and looking for how to, monetize their skills further? What other ways can they take that a step further?
Well, I think you should just keep your mind open, right? So I see a lot of photographers, they start photography and they say, oh, this is, maybe you start getting clients shooting this particular thing and you say, okay, this is what you're sticking to. But for me, I just explored more, right? Like I told you, I had the limitation with shooting on locations, and then I started doing set design in the studio. From set design, that's brought up the part of having the interior design outlet as well. So, and even the set design, I use it to design my studio enough to be renting it out for other people to use.
Wow.
So you just have to keep your mind open. Don't be too rigid and don't be too stiff, basically. Yeah.
I don't feel like you have arrived.
Yeah, that's very key. Don't feel like you've arrived. There's always something to learn.
I leave the last question for you. So ask us the question.
So what would you advise business-wise in the business of photography, the steps that you feel like you took and helped you?
Yeah.
to stick
Structure
with
the
it?
business,
Well,
yeah.
definitely, that's a very good question. So, first step, learn it. You can actually learn it. So, when I decided to start photography, I think the same year, I used to attend Daystar, and I took this leadership course. It was like a 3 day course or something, and they gave us like a certificate. I used that to just learn the business aspects, basically, right? So, in fact, I think around that time I didn't even know I was going to do photography because I was still drawing then. So, but I just wanted to learn the business aspects, just at least have an idea. So I did that for a bit. Then also surround yourself with people that you think you can learn those things from. So interestingly, I don't have a lot of photography friends, but I have people that run businesses, fashion designers, digital creators and whatnot. I just have different people in different industries, and when they talk or when you see how their business run, you tend to pick up one or two things from them, right? And you use that to just develop your own business.
Thank you.
Yes.
And of course, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, it will be time for RRG. Take a wild guess. What is RRG? Just guess.
Run,
I won't
run.
collect it. Run. We are not running anywhere. We are just running for a break and we'll be back. Welcome back. This is Level Up Pod by Leadway. I have the Alfe and Egbinola photography right here. And are you ready for our game? It's the rapid response game.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So you have 3 seconds to answer when I ask you, are we ready?
I think so.
The Alfe, what are your top 3 favorite shoots so far? 3, 2.
Hey, I can't even think of anyone. Peter Dominic for LG.
Oh, you took that picture.
Yes.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I still saw it yesterday. Okay, sorry. 2.
A shoot I did for a fashion brand, TLR. I did the set design and everything.
1.
I don't know.
1. Your clients are going to find you after
my
this show.
friends. All my shoots are there.
Ah. Okay, Olamide, what are the top 3 celebrities you would love to shoot?
Well, celebrity children maybe. I don't mind shooting Two Faces children.
Really?
Yes, I don't mind shooting your daughter.
She go stress you.
I don't mind actually. I love newborns and toddlers.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the next question on RRG. The Alfe, if you weren't doing photography, you'd be 3, 2.
Interior designer.
No, you can't pick any of those ones that you're already doing.
If I was doing photography.
Yes. 3, 2.
Maybe I'll be a banker.
You like money. You like money.
I don't know. It's either.
Why banking though?
Well, maybe because my dad was a banker all through, so I grew up admiring it.
Oh, I can imagine. Olamide, aside thank you, list 3 things clients have told you after a shoot.
These images are beautiful and sharp. Yeah. I had one client that said, I don't really like the way my face looks here.
What did you say to that client?
I said, okay, what do you want me to do to the image? And then she's like, okay, don't worry, I'll call you. And then 3 days later, she's like, don't worry, the images are fine.
Wow. One last one.
Beautiful job. Those ones are just normal. Beautiful job. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The Alfe, aside the camera, list 4 things a photographer should always have when going for a job. Your time starts now.
Lenses,
easy.
reflector, and the strobe. Strobe could be speed light or an actual strobe.
One more, I said 4.
4. Oh, stand. Light stand.
Oh my, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Thank you
you.
for helping us level up. I had a great time. I hope you did.
Definitely.
Thank you. And thank you to you, our viewer, our listener, for joining us on this episode of Level Up. Till the next episode, I remain Tomike Adeoye, your host. See you next time on Level Up, powered by Leadway.